All right, cool. Let's go live. Boom. All right, so I think that the reason why people have um, been attracted to my account is not because I have all the right answers. I don't, but it's my thinking process. My process is what's valuable to people, and it's also the way that I teach my classes. My students don't look at me as like, oh, Mr. Roosh has all the great ideas. That's not what it is. It's a very Socratic kind of approach where I am just following a process of asking questions. Here's what I think, but I'm open to other, points of view. My recent post was kind of about that, about the best place in America for, or what's good about America, or the best place in America in the world for people to live. So here, let's go to questions. I have a whole bunch of questions here. Um, okay. Thoughts on the Terrence Howard, Eric Weinstein episode? I haven't watched it yet. So I just saw a few little clips, but I am working really hard, early mornings and late nights on Powder Doc. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very, very uh, excited to hear about what that is. Eric Weinstein's the man. Terrence Howard is interesting, to say the least. Uh, okay, does the 25th I'm assuming amendment. Does the 25th need to be invoked regarding Biden's inability to fill his duties? Um, that's a tough one. So the 25th Amendment, for people who don't know, is about when the president is unable to, like it says in the question, fulfill their duties. Uh, then they should be removed, and the vice president should step in. Kamala Harris is kind of like it's like an insurance policy because people really don't want Kamala Harris. So, uh, is it time to pull Biden out because of his performance at the debate? No, I don't think that. Is it because he is senile? I think it's a tough sell. I think it's a tough sell. I think that we kind of see what we want to see. So the people who um, are very against Biden see him as really crazy and really lost it, and the people who are really anti-Trump see Biden as like, all right, he's okay. He's kind of old, but he's okay. And then for people who are pretty objective, I think they see it as like this guy should not be in charge, but is he in a state where he needs to be removed from office? I think that's a tough. I think it's a tough sell. Okay, let's see. Do I have homeschool? Do I have a homeschool curriculum I recommend for elementary age kids? No, I am working with some families who have elementary age kids. I was actually working on that a little bit this morning about how to be a critical thinker for elementary age kids. We don't talk about like abortion and guns and the immigration crisis, but we can still do viewpoint diversity when it comes to things like there's two siblings. One likes pizza, one likes chicken nuggets. You have to argue for why you're the pizza person, you have to argue why chicken nuggets are better than pizza. Little things like that, pattern recognition, asking questions, Socratic seminars and stuff like that. I think you still can do with elementary age kids. As far as like the more traditional homeschool world, that's not my world. I don't know. A lot of homeschool stuff, to be honest, looks like regular school stuff. It looks like regular school stuff at home. I'm not a big fan. um what happened to the 90s liberal? I feel like the party has gone progressive mad over the years. Good question. Okay, what happened to the 90s liberal? What essentially happened to the 90s liberal is they weren't getting funding. Now, this is an idea of Pia Milani, who is an economist, brilliant economist, but also is Eric Weinstein's wife. And I think it's spot on. I've tried to poke holes in it. I think it's pretty good. Essentially, that in the 80s, after Reagan and then Bush, and then Clinton won, but by a little margin, kind of because of Ross Perot. And and basically Democrats were losing because when you are the party of the labor class, when you are a party for labor, uh, it's very hard to get big donors. Like rich people, they want to pay their workers as little as possible. Okay, but if you are the party of labor, you have to deliver on like better working conditions and better pay and stuff like that. So you're going to get poor people supporting you, which is important, bottom of the hierarchy, but it's not good for winning elections. So what the Democrats did is they shifted from being the party of labor. They're not the party of labor anymore. What they shifted to was the party of identity. They're the party of identity. And that's why there's so much about like I represent this marginalized group. I represent this marginalized group because a marginalized group is the poor. I mean, that's the marginalized group. I mean, poor white, poor black, poor Hispanic, poor Asian, like being poor. I mean, that's something that Karl Marx got right. Is like when he understands the oppressor oppressed hierarchy, that the real oppressed are the poor more than anything. Like a poor straight white man does not have power over Oprah Winfrey or whatever. You know what I mean? So what happened was the Democrats shifted to become the party of identity, and therefore they've kind of lost their way and they've gone down this like whatever what you want to call like woke pathway. That's what happened. I think that's accurate. Um, November 5th, neither side is willing to secede a loss. Where is safe if U.S. empire falls? I don't think falling happens like you think it does. I think it's a slower process. I think we're like a frog in boiling water. We're kind of there now. I think that's a lot of what's going on. Um, but if neither side like accepts what's happening in the election, I think it could be a real problem. I think there's going to be like riots and stuff like that potentially, or people are just lazy and they're not going to do anything. I don't know. It's hard to make a prediction about that, but I think that what we do see, what is accurate, I think when it comes to the election, is the economy is slow, and I think it's a lot of people who are waiting to see what's going to happen with the economy. So that's something that's definitely coming up. And I do think that regardless of what you think about Donald Trump, I do think that if Donald Trump wins, the economy will have a spike in November because he's a businessman. He's Trumpy. He's like a used car salesman and stuff like that. And I think that people will have more confidence. I think there's just not a lot of confidence. It's like uncertain for the future, so people don't go out and spend as much. Where if there is, Trump gets in office, the business guy gets in office, based on when he was in office and stuff like that, pre-COVID and stuff, I think people are going to have a lot of like confidence, and they're going to go out and the economy is going to get sparked. Okay, thoughts on SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, for presidential immunity ruling. First of all, this isn't just for Trump. It is the Trump case, but this is for all presidents. Here's where this is tricky. The president can um, what's it called? Pardon people for crimes. So if you're best friends with the president and you go out and you do terrible things, you steal a bunch of cars and hurt people and all that kind of stuff, the president can pardon you. So to say like, well, this is making the president above the law, when he's acting as president, he doesn't have to follow laws. Essentially, when he's acting as in his job title, that's what official means, like in his job title for president. But he has the power to pardon anybody, so he's already a kind of above the law. And it's not when he does stuff that's not in line with his job. So the president can't just go out and punch someone in the face or rob a liquor store or something like that. It's only when it's in line with his job. And to say like, it's kind of like, here's the way I think about it. Like police officers can break the speed limit when it's for their job. That's like one way to think about it. And I think that is, it's like, is this dangerous? Potentially. Is it dangerous for a cop to be able to break the speed limit? Yeah, potentially. But we have to trust police officers and we have to trust our leaders in government. Oh, well, I don't trust Donald Trump or I don't trust Joe Biden. Yeah, well, let's get more civically engaged and let's go out and pick presidents that are actually reasonable, that we can go, all right, I'm okay with this guy having the power to break the law. It's like you're okay with James Bond having the license to kill, right? But you just don't want whatever, like Lex Luthor have the license to kill. So I think it really is a call, not just for like to say this is good or bad. I think it's a call to have better leadership. That's my opinion on it. Okay. Favorite submission and Bible verse. Wow. Submission in jiu-jitsu would be the Darce choke, like the head arm Darce choke. I get that a lot. I have like skinny long arms. Favorite Bible verse is probably Jeremiah 29:11, which is about God wants you to have like a fruitful life, like a positive, successful, good life. I'm like paraphrasing, um, but that helps me, with like worrying about the future. Uh, okay, run for president, please. I've thought about politics for a long time. The reason I never did it was because I was like dedicated to raising a family and my job and stuff like that. Now that I'm building my own business or have my own business, um, I think about it. The problem is I'm an independent. Like I'm like a real independent. So I can't imagine that I would have a lot of backing. I'd probably have to go with one side or the other, and I think it'd probably be the Republicans that would support me if anyone would support me. So I don't know. How are you not scared of others' perception of you? It's interesting you say that. I'm actually an Enneagram 4, which means I care a lot about being misunderstood. So I actually do care what others think of me, believe it or not, despite what I do on here. Um, being racist, etc. is I think what helps. I think what helps to answer this question: how am I not scared of others' perception of me? I think what helps is I know myself. I know myself. So you accusing me of something that I know I am not just doesn't hit very, very hard. I still don't like it though. It still bothers me probably more than it looks like it does. Tell me a story about a student whose mind was changed because of Socratic method. Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many. I had a student who um, came into my class basically as a Marxist and then left like, huh, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna work. And it's only through asking questions. Like there's so many examples from my class of students who come in confident and then leave very, very confused. So that's like kind of everything I do. What should parents who are afraid of indoctrination do? You need to bring critical thinking into your home. That's what you need to do. You need to make it the norm. You need to allow curiosity. And check out my master class on January 6th. I don't know if anyone. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. On January 6th in the morning, I'm doing a master class on how to brainwash proof your kids. It's basically just it's strategies for critical thinking for your children, and I think it's really really necessary, really really important. Uh, okay. How do you explain to a kid why a friend shunned them for merely questioning a popular opinion? You have to give your kids a backbone. You have to give your kids a backbone um, to be able to be okay with people being upset with them. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. Keep asking questions. Do not let pure curiosity get punished. It already gets punished in schools. I don't think it's good. Do not let kids give up their curiosity. Your children, you have to facilitate that an environment for to support curiosity. Um, okay, I think this is the last one. Okay, do you think indoctrination is overhyped by the media or underhyped? Oh man, I think it depends on what media. What media are you talking about? It depends. If you're more right wing media is going to talk about left wing indoctrination. Left wing media is going to talk about right wing indoctrination. I think it depends. I think that the truth of what's going on, I think you're not going to get a lot of places because they're just going to be pointing to how the other side is indoctrinating. I think that's part of it. Um, is this live January? I don't know what that means. um, but uh, but thank you guys so much for checking in. Um, in this, um, I would love